Hello and welcome back to iMovie 10 tutorial. I realized when I watched the rest of the tutorials that there was a few things that needed a bit of clarification. So just allow me to go through these, and I think you'll benefit from what I'm about to say here. I've got several things to cover, just little things. One thing I want to underscore is that these tutorials were actually created for beginners. So beginners have a bit of an advantage, to be honest, over more advanced editors because they don't have anything to unlearn. I think it's an asset to be a beginner, and that's why I hope that you got a lot out of this. That said, let's talk about some kind of technical details here, and then I'll really close it out. I promise. One thing I wanted to kind of highlight, and I don't think I covered it enough, is this idea of clips. Now, we did a lot of clips in here. We have our old timeline that we actually exported a movie, and of course these are all clips. But one thing that I don't think I made clear is that when you have a clip, you can apply effects to it because it is a discrete unit that iMovie can identify, and you can apply all kinds of special effects. So let's do that. But this isn't a good example. Let's go back into another project here, and this is just, if you recall, this is just the oral history that is on its own timeline. So let's load that up, and this will be a really good example. So we have some clips here, and we made them by doing the Command B, and that's great. So let's see if we can have kind of a small one in here, and see if we can zoom out a little bit so we can maybe get it in there. Get more of it in there. Oh, here we go. Here's a nice little one. Okay, so we cut these, and of course, just to repeat, by making these cuts in the one long oral history, it tells you where it is in relation to the total time. So here it's at 46 seconds. The whole 14-minute clip. Here's the 14-minute clip. So that's great, and we remember all that. But let's take a look here, and we went ahead and we made these little clips here, and here we have this one here, and of course you can tell by the little gap, which of course if you play through this, which we'll do in here now, it doesn't display as a gap, but as just a single piece of film.
What roles have you served in?
Do it again.
Pretty great. What roles have you?
And you can see as it passes that cut, absolutely, nothing happens. But let's just say we want to apply effect to this. And this is a way also that you can break up a talking head. I know we talked about one trick of just making a zoom. We made a cut, and then we just simply cropped this, which essentially zoomed it, or rather created a more close-up, which created a kind of a relief from all that talking head. So suppose, look at this. Now remember, here's a clip. So remember the adjustment bar here. And let's go back and remember this little film strip is a special effect. And let's go in Video Effects and watch this. Let's just apply. We're going to apply something
here. What roles
here.
have you served in over the years?
I've been a Sunday school teacher.
So you can. This is another way. Maybe a sepia. Let's do that. Okay. So now let's play through and see what happens.
And right after the turn of the century.
Pretty great.
There you go.
What roles have you served in?
So that's something else. And of course I'm going to do Command Z. We're going to undo that. Now another thing I didn't mention before is you can actually apply the audio effect to this as well. So
what roles have you served in over the years?
let's get something really
I've been a Sunday school teacher, a member of the vestry.
What roles have you served in over the years?
Okay, let's apply that and play it through.
Pretty great.
Let's
Baptized in this church.
Okay.
and right after the turn of the century.
Very great. What roles have you served in over the years?
Okay, so you see that there is a difference there. And this is just, and I did Command Z to undo what that was. So this is actually some more tools at your disposal. You can create a clip just by doing the Command B, and it's going to play through with no discernible loss of video or audio quality unless you apply the special effect to it. So I mean, that's another thing you can do. And that also works, by the way, with, let's see, we have some audio here. Let's just take a little bit of this, and remember how we got that down there. We're going to put an E there, and it went down there to the beginning. You can also do a Command B on that, and a Command B on that. So now, so you have a clip here, and it'll play through. Well, there's no way to tell that there's a cut there. That's just really a virtual cut anyway, but
This is very
see, absolutely no way to tell. So you could actually apply, you can apply an effect to that. See, there's the audio. So I just want to tell you that that's another possibility that I didn't make clear before. But this idea that you can create clips and then use that clip and apply any sort of effect to it will give you a little bit more versatility in your final result. I'm going to get rid of this by selecting and hit delete. Let's go back to our project that is our main project here, and this is the one we exported. So let's see what we've got in the event by clicking that. So it's down here, which is, let's see, actually right here. Yeah, here we go. So let's choose our project one. I'm sorry that's truncating that name, but there it is. Remember when I said if you click in this, if you click in the clip and you have a selection, if you have a selection like this, it will, if you click this little plus sign, it will append that to the end. But it's possible, okay, so let's just say, I'm just clicking in here and I get the plus sign. Well, it will do the same thing, only it will add 4 seconds. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'm just going to click the little plus, and let me twirl this down here so we can see what's going to happen. And there we go, 4 seconds. So it's just a default thing. I don't know if you ever have a use for that, but I think it's handy to know that. It's just a kind of a philosophy of iMovie. So I'm selecting deleting that. There's one thing that I think I told you wrong before in this red square here, which I thought was a background that the program had generated, because it does that in Final Cut Pro. But actually what this is a broken link. Remember I told you that the philosophy of this editing program depends really on references to your original media, which is safely tucked away in the library. And let's take a look here. Remember, this is the library, and it's really, it's a folder of a bunch of other folders. You can't see it, but so whenever you put something on your timeline, it copies in the library. In case you want to move your library somewhere, you could literally move it or copy it somewhere on another hard drive, go to another computer. Every single bit of your media is there. In this case, it got lost, and I think it's just because I was overtaxing the computer, and it didn't have time to copy. So the link is broken. But that, and let's take a look here. Now, how do we know what this is? I don't even really know what it is. It says it's an audio clip, sure, but what is it? So remember, we can go back in here in our adjustment bar and click the I and look. Oh, okay, I know what it is now. This is actually it's a sound effect that is built into the program, the horse whinny. So it is. We had put it there just for demonstration, and then I deleted it. So that's what that is. And I'm going to go ahead and select this now. And let's see how, if we can delete it, move to trash. So I'm going to do that. And then it brings up this little pop-up. Are you sure you want to delete the selected files from your iMovie library? It will no longer be available in iMovie. So it's saying that this really is a file. So watch out. You know, we hope that somewhere you have another file. so this might be a really good caution that while it does copy everything in your library over here, and if you do delete it, it's actually gone because it made a copy of this in that funny little icon that I showed you a second ago. That you can't see anything is just a big folder with invisible files. And so it is there, and so once we do this, it's gone. But you'll have to re-import it somewhere else. So that brings me to actually another thing that may have occurred to you about using when we go down here and click this. And so we have, all of these are built in to the program, and that's going to be available on whatever computer that you're using if it is running iMovie 10. Now, what happened was we chose one of these, and here's some. So let's just take this little thing here and put it just right here, just for fun. Well, what happened there? Is it making a reference to the hard drive, the computer hard drive, or did it copy? Did it copy the file to your library? Now that's an important question, isn't it? Because we can lose the link. And the answer is it actually did copy this to the library. I checked that and it actually was there. I had a question about that myself. And why is that important? Because if you were on a version of iMovie that somehow, I don't know, didn't have that little piece that you got out of the program directory, it would just be not available. It'd be a red. This strip would be red. So that's good to know. So yes, it does copy. So I'm going to delete that out. And finally, let's talk about some of the things that I didn't talk about, that's something that you can explore on your own. So if you go under these various things, modify, enhance, and fade to black and all that, a freeze frame we didn't talk about, but it does have the capability to, like right here, if we wanted to, or even at the end, if we wanted to add a freeze frame, you can do that, and that's great. It's going to add it exactly where that playhead is. So, and you can just trim that down.
97.
So there you go. I mean, that's an option. I'm going to actually, I'm just going to leave that here for a second. But go ahead and explore all of these. There's lots more things you can do. It's endless. That's why I said we can possibly cover everything that iMovie can do. And while I'm here, I will say this is this would be useful. Where it has these, it looks like gaps, and we know it isn't because it plays through with no black. If you double click these, it brings up what's called a precision editor. And so and you see some of these are these are grayed, and then these are not grayed. So those are the parts that are displayed. And this is great because you can change the out point and the end point here by I'm dragging it, or actually in this case, it looks like it's just changing the out point here, and which is actually changing the duration too of your whole project. So that's something, I don't know, that might not be so useful because the other option is just simply to drag the edge. We're changing the outgoing point and the ingoing point. That's what it gives you the option to do. And when you get that done, you can just close that out. And it changed that, and then you can go down here and do the same thing. It used to be that, well, I guess you can click up there too. So I'm going to undo what I just did by Command Z, and you remember it just keeps. I'm just doing Command Z. What I want to do. There we go. Okay. So I got rid of those extra parts that we did. And so finally, what I want to say is, don't be afraid to try out things. The key, of course, is to get across what you want to say. Above all, that's the most important thing. But be innovative, try new things. Unfortunately, you have to kind of know what the rules are before you can break them, because knowing why you're breaking the rules is very important. And I say breaking the rules, there's really no rules. It's just the kind of established principles. So always try and be fresh and innovative, but certainly you want to make sure that your point gets taken. That's key to a successful video. So with that, I'm going to finally let you go, and please go out there and make some movies. This is Deborah Hendrix.